Welcome Internet. I got an email from Emmanuel from Malta. He's an architect there and he had a question about the renovation filters in Archicad, which you can see right here. So usually by default, and this is the default template from the international Archicad version, there are three colors in the renovation filter. The existing stuff or existing plan, which is showed in black or gray. Everything which needs to be demolished is shown in yellow, and everything which should be constructed new is shown in red. So that's the case here in Germany where I live. That's also the case in, for example, South Africa, in the Netherlands, in the US, in the UK, a couple of other countries where I know that it's exactly the same. But he says in Malta there are two more colors, and his question is, can we add more colors to the renovation filter? So first of all, he writes that there is the blue color for building parts as built to sanction, which I guess he means is they are built but they are not approved or not sanctioned by the authority. I'm not sure if I understand this correctly. And also he says there's the green color for building parts that are already approved but not constructed. And I don't see the difference to the red one here, to be honest, but maybe I understand it wrong, and I'm not here to argue about the Maltese laws of construction. I'm here to help people in Archicad, and we want to add two more colors to the renovation filter. And the first thing I like to mention is that it is not possible. Video ending right now. No, I'm kidding. It is not possible in a renovation filter. And why it is not possible? It is because we have only these three filter settings. We can filter for the existing elements, the to be demolished ones, and the new elements. Only these three, the red, yellow, and the black ones. Because, and I show this in an example, I draw a wall. And when you click on the wall and you go into its settings, you have under classification and properties the point renovation, and here you can choose one of these three things. And it's not possible in Archicad to add more points to the renovation status. But of course we can do this in a different way, and I'm going to show you how. We maybe cannot add more options to this point, but in the classifications and properties we can add as many points as we like to add. So I close this, and we are going to options, property manager, and in the property manager you can add more points. Usually you go to new and add a new point, or you can duplicate one if you have selected one, and then you can choose to which group it should appear. And I choose the general ratings here, which should be the first point, and I say renovation filter new. And then we have to add 5 points. So I could add a description, but I don't need this in this case. I say it should be an option set in this case, and I add 5 options. So the first option is existing. The second one is to be demolished. Then we have to be constructed. And now I just write down what Emmanuel wrote me in the email. So he wrote as built to sanction, and the 5th option is as approved not constructed, the green one. So I have these 5 points. I don't allow multiple choices, would make no sense. And that's the value. We have these 5 points, and now we have to choose where this renovation filter property, this option, would be available. That's here, availability for classifications. To make it very easy, I say all. So it will be in all tools. Alright, once we selected all classifications, we can move on. And by the way, if you don't want to have all classifications, or if you want to create new ones, you can switch to the classification manager here, or you can go to options, classifications manager, and take a look at it. And yeah, you can create your own classifications for whatever you like. In this case, it's definitely not necessary. All is fine because you are going to have the renovation filter on 3D tools, like all you can see here in the toolbox, and also on all 2D tools like text and measurements and lines and everything. So it makes sense that we have selected all. When I switch into the settings of the wall I drew, I will then find the new renovation filters not under the point of renovation. I will find it under general ratings, because remember I said it should be under general ratings, and there is the renovation filter new, and here I have the 5 options. And yeah, right now it has no meaning, so I can choose anything I want, but it would make no difference. So the first step was to create this new filter in our classifications, and the next thing would be to create graphical overrides, which you can find here down below. And these overrides will say if anything, X, Y, whatever, has the general rating renovation filter new set to one of these 5 options, it should be appear like red, yellow, black, blue, green. So that's not that hard to do, but I'm going to show you how. We're going into the graphic override combinations setup, which you can do by clicking on this button, or you find it somewhere here, I think under options, I'm not quite sure. And then you can say new combination, and our new combination should be called renovation filter. And the good thing is we only need one combination with yeah, at least 5 rules, maybe more, but we will try it with 5 rules, and the 5 rules are for the 5 colors. So once you have a combination, you have to fill it with rules. So I click here on some of the default settings. You see if the fire plan has different rules, the ceiling plan has different rules, and so on. And we need at least 5 rules here. So we can edit existing rules, but in this case we also can create new rules. So the first rule, I call it red for the color first, and say to construct. And now the rule is here, but I have to edit the rule because it makes no sense. It's empty right now. And I can do this by clicking on edit rules. And here the menu kind of overwhelms somebody if you have never been in this graphic override rules menu, but it's quite simple. You have all the rules on the left side, which are existing by default, and your own, which you created and added, but you can blend this out. So we're going to focus on criteria and style. So I make this a little bit smaller so it's easier. Criteria is like, yeah, imagine a mathematical form. If XYZ is blah blah blah, then, and the then is the override style. So this is if and this is then. Very simple. And in this case we are going to filter by element type, if element type is all types. And in our case it's okay, because we said we need anything, we need 2D tools, we need 3D tools and everything, so all types is fine. And if anything of this is, and now we're going to say, has the renovation filter set to one of the 5 points, and then we are going to create our override. So I'm going to properties, general ratings, renovation filter new, and here is here are our 5 points. So I'm starting with to be constructed was the first one, red to construct. And if some element type of all types is set to renovation filter new to be constructed, and then we're going to start with our then. All line types are solid. No, the line types are not overwritten, but the color should be overwritten to red. And all fill types should be not overwritten, but all foreground colors should be overwritten to red, and it should appear in uncut fills and in override drafting fills and in sectional fills or cut fills. And the fill background color, I think it's better to keep this as it is. If we also say red, you will have solid red fills, and this would make no sense. We could also override it for the 3D, and that's what we're doing. That's basically the same thing the renovation filter does too, because it works in 3D and you don't see textures in 3D. You see red and yellow walls or ceilings or whatever. So we choose our paint vermilion, and we choose it for uncut surfaces and for cut surfaces. And I think that's okay, but we will see, we will test this. And that's our first set new filter. Okay, we have to add the 4 new ones, but first of all we're gonna test it. So the renovation filter is active, the override, but what's not active is it's set to be demolished, and we will set it to be constructed, and then we see it appears in red. So it works in 2D. Question is, does it work in 3D? Why does it not work here? Because the override's not active. I'm not working in the views, but I set this to renovation filter and it works perfectly. And the last thing I want to test is a section. So I create a section and I'm looking through it, renovation filter active, I see a red wall, perfect. That's exactly how it's done. And yeah, as easy as it is, I will show this in a time lapse because I've made it once, but the other 4 rules are exactly the same. You just changed the colors. So I've finished 4 rules, not 5. The reason for this is the existing stuff doesn't need a filter because it will appear like you build it. And we don't have to override it, so we just need the 4 ones instead of all the 5 options. Now the filter has 5 options, doesn't matter. So this should be fine, and we're gonna test it because or not because, I want to see how it works. And I copy the wall and I simply just change the options. So this is to be demolished. As you can see, it doesn't really look that good. And this is as built to sanction, and this one here is as approved, not constructed. The question is, why didn't it work? I know why. I made a big mistake and I didn't recognize while I was doing this, but I didn't edit the criteria. Yes, this needs to be demolished, and this one needs to be as built to sanction, and the last one with the approval, and now it should work, and it works. The yellow seems a little bit light, but it's okay. If you're not fine with this, choose a darker yellow. I am not a fan of the 100% yellow color because it always looks strange, or it looks very weak when you print the plans or plot the plans. But yeah, you can just change the color by going into pans and colors. And this is how it looks in 3D. Perfect. And we're going into the section, and it also works. And yeah, I hope Emmanuel will watch the video. I wrote an email back that it will appear on the YouTube channel, and I hope it is the solution for his problem. And now Malta is going to use Archicad everywhere because they know they can have all the colors in their renovation filters. I hope you learned something new. Maybe you have never worked with graphical overrides or classifications and properties, and yeah, otherwise it won't be something new for you. But anyway, I'm always glad if you leave a thumb up under the video or a comment down below. Make suggestions what you want to see. Maybe you have some trouble with Archicad, you want to see anything. You can send me an email with pictures of a building which you want to see me rebuilding it. And I'm always glad to receive emails and comments from you. And as always, have a great day. Stay creative. See you.